In this quick video, I'm going to show you how profitable gardening can be, especially factoring in the increase in food prices. I'll break down all the costs of my newly built raised beds, we'll look at some of the high value crops I'm growing, expected savings from one bed, and my overall expected return on investment. If you live in an apartment or don't have much space, don't worry, stick around to the end and I'll give you some ideas on how you can start growing. This is Tim from Organic Backyard Gardening. It's midsummer here in New England, and plants are in their full production mode. There's one thing that's on a lot of people's mind right now, and that's the increase in food prices. And while gardening does have an upfront cost, I'm going to show you how you can recoup all those costs in your first year of growing, as well as make a nice return on your investment. I hope this inspires you to grow more food. Looking at the most recent Consumer Price Index data from June shows some really shocking numbers. Year over year from May 21 to May 22, food costs in the US increased by 10.1%. Eggs increased year over year 32.2%. Fresh vegetables increased year over year 6.4%. Every year it seems I'm adding more and more raised beds to my garden area, and this year I'm building even more. I cleared out a new section on the far side of my property by moving back a shed. I decided on 4 by 16 foot raised beds because they were more cost effective. I contemplated in-ground mound beds without wood, but decided it was worth the cost to keep them neat in a raised barrier. I also had organic compost delivered. While adding up all these costs for the project, it got me thinking about what would be the expected value of the food that I can grow in these beds. Well, the numbers are really surprising. I'm going to be using the bed that I planted butternut squash and cucumbers in as an example. These are high value crops. Last year our butternut harvest was great and they stored very nicely in the basement throughout the winter. My wife makes butternut soup, which we love, and for cucumbers, we eat them fresh and make pickles which store well. To get estimated value of these crops, I looked at 2 grocery stores. Organic butternut squash at Whole Foods is $1.89 a pound. Shaw's is $1.99 a pound. An average butternut is about 2 pounds. For organic cucumbers, Whole Foods charges $2 and Shaw's $3 each. Let's review the cost breakdown for one 4 by 16 foot raised bed. To fill it, I used organic compost. This was $60 per 1 yard delivered. I used about 1 yard to fill this raised bed. I also threw in some old rotted wood from the woods nearby, which helped cut down on the compost needed to fill the bed. I used 2.5 2 by 8 by 16s. These were Douglas fir untreated wood, and they were $27.98 each, for a total of $70. In the middle of the bed, in the insides, I used a 2 by 4 by 8. I cut it in half to brace the beds. This was about $2. Estimate about $4 of screws. And then for seeds, cucumber seeds about $4, squash seeds about $8, for a grand total of about $148. Now for the expected value of one raised bed. I planted 16 butternut squash. Typically you can get about 3 to 6 per plant at about a pound to 2.5 pounds each. I'm going to expect to get about 4 per plant, for a total of 64 butternut squash. Expecting that each plant is about 2.5 pounds at $1.99 a pound, that's a total value of $5 per squash, for a total harvest expected value of $319. Now in the same bed, I'm also interplanting cucumber. I have 16 cucumber plants. For each plant you can expect about 10 to 20. I expect about 8, for a total of 128, at a value about $2 per cucumber, for total expected harvest value of $256. Total harvested value of $575. Let's be a little conservative if things don't go our way and take a 25% haircut. I did plant these beds a little later than I would have liked. That would give us an expected total harvest of $431. If we remove the $148 of the total bed costs, this would give us an overall cost savings of $283, which would give us an ROI of about 191% on our initial investment of $148. Now, I know what some people might say down in the comments. You didn't factor the most expensive cost, which is your time, and that's true. Building, filling, and planting the beds took about an hour and a half maybe for each bed, and then each week I'm going to have to spend time maintaining the plants. However, if this is something you enjoy, you're getting fresh air and exercise, the cost to you may be minimal. So the point is, although it's expensive to get started gardening, building beds, buying compost, this will set you up for success and you can recoup your cost within the first year, quickly putting some savings back in your wallet. Now, if you live in an apartment or a condo, there are some things that you can do to grow your own food. In the United States, many cities and towns have community gardens. In Europe, these are referred to as either plots or allotments, which are the same concept. It's land divided into small spaces, and you can rent this land, sign up for a plot. These community gardens may have hundreds of plots, and it's pretty easy to see if there's one in your area. I did a quick Google search of a random location in Massachusetts and found a community garden website. In Woburn, Mass, each plot is 27 by 27 feet and within 50 feet of a water spigot. Some are free and some might have small fees. Like I found on the Boston website, it was about a $30 fee per year. If you're currently using an allotment or a community garden, let me know where you're located and some more about how it works in the comments below. How has your experience been? Another option is you might be able to grow on your balcony or rooftop. And I actually have a friend who grows on her friend's land. He has extra space and he's opened up her garden to her. You might also be able to expand your current garden area. In the community section of my YouTube channel, I asked the question, what are you doing differently in the garden this year given the high food costs? 2 people mentioned that they were actually growing beans and they hadn't done that previously. Beans are excellent. You can continuously plant them throughout the growing season. They produce a lot in a small amount of space. You can easily preserve them by freezing or canning them. I recommend bush beans and the variety called the Provider. Hope all these tips helped you and encouraged you to grow more food. If you need help planning your garden, I built a tool called PlanMyGarden. Enter your zip code, draw your garden layout, select what vegetables you want to grow and how much space you want to allocate to each. Check out, and then we'll send you an email with a PDF that has a visual schedule for each vegetable you selected, a getting started guide, a grow guide for each vegetable selected, and your garden layout updated with optimal plant placements for maximum yields. If you like this video, you'll probably enjoy learning from my other videos, like this one in the top right, how to grow the bush beans that I just mentioned previously. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe by clicking in the bottom right. See you on the next video, and happy growing!